Oh, what's up? What's up? Peace, 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 peace. Let me put my drink down. Let me put my drink down. Peace, Noble Malik. Let me get my chair. Let me get my chair, man. Had a good day today. I got a lot accomplished today. Hey, Noble Malik, I got the email from the lady with the land too. I guess the contract is cool. I'm on my YouTube channel, so when y'all see me talking to someone else, I'm talking to my Mufti on YouTube. But I did get the email from the lady with the other land that we purchased. I think the contract looked good. I think you got to look over it and then we rocking and rolling. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about today, man. Oh, let me grab these books. Hold on. First, I like to say peace, 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 peace. They said the host is settling in to eat chicken and noodles. Yeah, that's my Empress eat. She eat chicken and noodles right now, homemade. But yeah, man, it's a good day as always. I always like to jump back on this platform and give vital information. It's another scorching day out here in Arizona, but I love it. I love it. I love it. But hey, what can I say? All I can say is, man, I have much gratitude for all the alumni at GCU, all the alumni at Arizona Christian College, all the alumni at Peoria Community College, all the alumni at Arizona State, and the alumni at Spring Arbor Christian College in Michigan. I also want to give thanks to the Thumb Correctional Facility. Why? Because they purchase all my books, and I provide books for people's libraries. I'm going to keep on illuminating this wisdom because I'm going to be gone in a minute, and my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge. And especially in my city of Flint, our kids' reading comprehension is still so low. And then when I talk about history and civics, the kids don't have nothing to read about who they are. Now, if everybody know me, I gathered and compiled a plethora of books. Oh, and I'm gonna start blocking people with these little. If you don't have no handle with all these little goofy emojis and these goofy little bios, I'm blocking you. I'm gonna continue to block distractions. I'm gonna continue to block people that's not a part of the movement, that don't participate, that don't say nothing. People been following me for years. I'm gonna block you. So don't come on here disrespectful because a lot of people are in the way. And a lot of people is the so-called Moors, the so-called whatever you want to call yourself in the way. So people that know me, I gathered and compiled a plethora of books. And also in my library, we print and buy expensive and rare books. But before I get into what I want to talk about, I wanted to share some things. Let me see. Did I have? Let me go back to something else. Let me go back to my file because I want to share some things first. I told my brothers and sisters I gathered and compiled a plethora of books for my brothers and sisters in the community that don't know who they are, especially our children, our youth. I've gathered and compiled a plethora of books, and I got to get this one printed, but I've also printed and I gathered and compiled a coloring book for our children. It's called I Am Royalty Coloring Book. I print and bind these books on demand. And so what I do when you purchase one of my books, I also give you the ebook as well. So you can have the ebook so you can print and bind it anytime you want. But I Am Royalty coloring book, it's not a whole bunch of caricatures or cartoons. And another thing, if you're on TikTok, share these messages because nobody be sharing the message. That's why I said I'm almost done with TikTok. I'm private on our private Zoom and StreamYard. And now I'm able to go in universities and schools and teach on my own dime. I knew it was going to happen. I just had to do the work. But my coloring book, it don't have a whole bunch of, fake caricatures and things and fake dinosaurs. It has our brothers and sisters and young people in royalty where you can color these. And this is for the kids. We got enough Scooby-Doo. We got enough cartoon stuff. So I gathered and compiled a coloring book so our kids can color in royalty, And this coloring book you can get from me for a donation. Everything I have, because I have my own religious organization. I have my own charter. I have my own fraternal order. Everything I do, I don't charge. I ask for a donation to our temple and school. And when you purchase one of my books, printed and bound for a $40 donation, I'm going to email you a whole bunch of other books as ebooks, history books for you can have. And I've done this a plethora of times because I'm alumni from Grand Canyon University. All the college students purchase my books. Why? Because they rock with me and they want to see me with my temple and my school and my community center. And so that's why I wrote literature and a lot of things in my mind, I put it on paper. I've also gathered and compiled a plethora of documents, of historical documents. And so if people know me, y'all know I gathered and compiled a plethora of books. Here go another book I gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. It's the 14 famous Asiatic scientists in history. And in this book, it talks about scientists in history, melanated. We all heard about Benjamin Banneker, of course, but have y'all heard about Charles Drew? I'm not going to break the history down to it because I want you guys to support your brother and donate and get this wisdom. At least get the ebook if you don't have the money for me to print and bind it and ship it to you, because it costs me to print and bind my books. But remember, I converted everything to ebooks. At least get the ebook from me and print it and bind it yourself at Office Max or Staples. But don't be cheap. Let me print and bind it for you and ship it to you. And I'll send you the ebook as well. That's why I ask people, share the messages. Nobody's just sharing my messages. Nobody's sharing them. The same people be on my pages each week, and nobody don't share it. The only people be sharing my messages and my teachings is my platform, my college platform. And I'm on there right now. I got 83 college people on here right now. What he say? He said, Sheik, we love you and stop doing this stuff to people they don't support. I can't. I'm addicted to it. I'm not even going to lie. I'm addicted to it. I have to teach the uncivil. I'm addicted to it. This is my community service. So I get paid to do it. Who are the Moors? I'm not even answering that with you. Don't even come on my page, Raw Truth, talk about who are the Moors. Man, whatever. Whatever. I ain't got time for that stuff. Who are the Moors? If you want to, you should know. I'm not going to get into semantics. With all due respect, Raw Truth, I'm not going there with no one. I'm not even arguing. You can be whoever you are. I'm way past that. You have the right to be whoever the hell you want to be. I'm not going there again with who are the Moors. The Moors can be whoever the hell you want them to be. With all due respect, we should know that. I gave too much history on this. I did too many lectures. So I'm not getting ready to get into semantics. I'm not doing that. That's why I tell us, a lot of our brothers and sisters, we don't even have enough attention span to stay in context. We start asking a whole bunch of other stuff. And that's the problem with a lot of us. I'm not here to argue or debate with no one. Period. That's a waste of my time. I don't care how everyone's seen me before. It don't matter. I don't care. I'm not arguing. Matter of fact, let me block this person. Let me block this person because I'm not even going there with people. I'm not even wasting my time with people. I'm not even doing that. Wasting my energy. Also, Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, Emmett Chappell, Ernest Everett Just naming a few, Garrett Morgan, Garrett Morgan, George Washington Carver, just to name a few. James West, you know, Mae Jemison, American physician. She was a NASA astronaut, known for being the first Asiatic woman to travel into space. You know, I got so many different. Mary Maynard Daly, woman earned her PhD in chemistry. I have so much history in these small little compilations that I gathered and compiled. So much history. And I know a lot of our adults don't even know about this. Why? Because I lecture this stuff in academia. And educators don't know. That's how I know average people don't know. If educators don't know who these people are and who these empresses are, I know the average person don't know. I know this for a fact. So I told people I'm not getting ready to get caught up in semantics with who the Moors. You should know who the Moors are. Norbert Rilux, Patricia Bath, so many scholars, so many educators. You know, but see, people want you to get caught up in arguing with them with semantics. I ain't here to tell you nothing. I'm not wasting my energy doing that with nobody on social media. Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. You know, well, we got our scholars. I did 10 of our scholars who debunked Eurocentric propaganda. Ivan Van Sertima, Dr. Francis Krause Wilson, Dr. Ben, Anthony Martin, Dr. Chancellor Williams, Dr. George G.M. James, that wrote the book Stolen Legacy, will show you that Greek history is nothing but watered down, stolen Egyptian history. Sheikh Anta Diop, one of our world's greatest scholars. John Henry Clark, that's my mother's favorite. A lot of our kids don't even know who these people are. Dr. Mariba Ani, another Empress scholar. You know, Dr. Amos Wilson, that's my homeboy. I should have put Kawanze Kunjufu in here as well, the brother that wrote Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys and Girls. When I'm able to go back to my alma mater and teach this, and I try to teach this to our people in public schools. It ain't about the men, it's the boys. They get our minds messed up, and that's how they program us in academia. You should allow me to teach your kids. I'm telling you, if I'm allowed to go to the colleges and teach other people's kids and teach Albions, Trailer-Dyke, Anglo-Saxon kids that want to know our history, and I get paid swell, I should be able to come on here and get donations. If the other man's going to help me build my temple, nobody can say nothing about no other man, because I don't. And when people be asking things that's meaningless, if you've been following me, everything that you asking, I already explained. That's how I be saying I'm not dealing with no trolls. I'm not dealing with no trolls. So I just want to show y'all how we print and buy certain books. Now, when people want me to buy things because they like dealing with me, I buy anything you want me to buy. But books that's not expensive, I just will sell you the ebook for a small donation, and you can print and bind the book if you want, or you can have the book on your tablet and your phone, and you can travel with it. So a lot of these books that I bind and print, college students ask me to print and bind because they like to support what I do. And so when people talk about slavery, African American history, and all that, which I say is a misnomer, I got so many books that show you about what's the really truth, like White Cargo. I got a book called They Were White and They Were Slaves. I got so much history to show you the real perspective on history. Like this book right here is The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. If you had a small tittle of Negro blood in you, you was considered a Negro, aka a mulatto. You can look on Amazon and see how much these books cost. I keep telling y'all these books are worth so much because in a minute, they're going to be obsolete. And in a minute, Amazon is going to make these books cost way more than what they cost. So, and then I know who sell everything on Amazon. That's why I got my own platforms where I'm not putting nothing on Amazon. You can go to my own platforms and purchase from me. Or you can deal with me specifically. All you got to do is hit me up and I can get you anything you want. And if it's easy for college students to do this, for people that's not so-called Moors and they study, why is it so hard for my own people to support their brother? Like that'd be the hard thing for me. Why the phone? Let me see. Hold on, let me show y'all something real fast. Oh, I'm sorry, damn, he hit me. Let me. What he say? Yep, I just ordered that from you. She gratitude to you too. I got like so much stuff going on. So my college, I got my college forum up. He like, she, we just ordered that from you. Look at your email. Okay. Well, what the heck going on? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to type something up for y'all, but this tripping. Oh, here we go. Ah, here we go. My phone is just tripping for some strange reason. Maybe because I'm on here building with y'all. Who knows? Let's see how much this one costs. And somebody already ordered this one. Oh, it's $899, and it's used. And it's used. Can y'all see that? $899 on Amazon. Why do a piece of paper cost $899? Paper, paper. This is paper. This ain't nothing. This ain't nothing but paper. Why do you think they charge $899 on Amazon? And remember, I have all these books in my physical library. I have 3 storage units with books to the ceiling. And all these books that I have printed and binded like this, I have the original manuscripts. I have the original books. That's $899. Everybody should be ordering this from me. And if you don't want to pay for me to print it and bind it, you should be at least getting the ebook from me for a small donation. The book costs almost $1,000 on Amazon. Hold on, let me grab some. Hold on. That's why I laugh with people that always want to talk about who the Moors, man. I deal with scholarship. You just been you've been taught wrong because you following sovereign citizens on the internet that just talking a whole bunch of criminal stuff. So here it is. This book costs almost $1,000 on Amazon, and it's a used book. And I print and bind these from all my original books. So let's deal with another one. Let's deal with another piece of literature. When I show y'all the value of what I do. And I don't have to convince no one. I don't even have to work this hard when I'm in academia. That'd be the sad part, you know? I don't know why my service is tripping like this on this dang on phone. But I just showed y'all that this book costs $899 on Amazon. And it's a used book. You see? And this is a used. And it's just a copy of the book. It's just a copy of the book. And I have the book right. Only difference is this cover is in black and white because I did it in black and white. I have them in color. The reason why it's in black and white because one of my clients wanted it that bad, and I said, well, I have the book, but the cover page is in black and white. He said, I don't care about the cover in black and white. He said, the page is black and white, ain't they? This is a college student that got a PhD. He said, I don't care about that. He said, that's your only people that do that. He was like, even if you had the book on papyri and just the ebook, I want it because he's studying, he read. So that's what I be telling people. I'm like, hey, my people lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. We'll help everybody get rich but their own brother. And then when I get rich, I'm using the money to create our temple and school. So it's another book. When I show y'all all these books, I print and bind these books. So this one right here is Atlantis of the Latter Days. Let's see how much this one costs on Amazon. And our people that are lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. I'm not getting on social media and arguing no one because you asked me a whole bunch of stupid questions. All I'm going to do is block you. You know, I don't have time for that. I told people I don't have time to be playing no semantics with grown people. I'm not wasting my energy doing that. You know, like why should I? All I'm doing is blocking people that's in the way because I don't have time for that. So let's see. So right now, let's see. The used book, you can get a used book from different platforms because the book is not available on Amazon. So you can get them from, you can get the book used for 168, 170, and let's see some other places. You can get a good used copy, as you see, for $168. You can get a good used copy for $168. Well, I have the book as an ebook, and I print and bind a book. Why would you want to pay $160 for some paper? Why? Why? And then I lecture everything in the book, everything in it. This right here, I teach this, and when I tell people I teach this for you can learn the right way, this book used to cost a grip on Amazon. Excuse me, let's see how much it costs now on Amazon. Let's see how much it costs on Amazon. What? Well, they don't have, let me see. Let me see, Frank Rudolph, let me see. Yeah, okay. Yep, so the book ain't that expensive no more. It's $22. But you don't got to go to Amazon and make them rich. You can get the ebook from me. I'll send it to your email right now. And if you want it printed and bound, I'll print and bind it for you for a small fee. Or my mooses can print it and bind it for you. Or you can go to Office Max and Staples and print it and bind it. But you will have it as an ebook on your database. You will have it as an ebook on your database. Another book that was super expensive a couple years ago. Let me see how much it costs on Amazon now. See, I got to get the right one because they had, okay. So, Tavistock Institution of Human Engineering, this book used to be a grip. This book used to be a grip. Now, John Coleman did so many lectures in academia, and I had the pleasure to lecture all this stuff on the college campus. This book is packed with vital information. I have these books, I converted all these books to ebooks. That's why I laugh at my brothers and sisters that don't know history and that's not willing to spend no money with me. It's like, why won't y'all spend money with me, would be on my page every week, and we making Amazon rich, we making all these people rich buying pheasants from, because they sell our products cheap, and they get their pheasants from the same place I get them from. Help me get rich, and watch what I do. That's why I said we don't love ourselves. You know, clearly we can't. Everybody that want to know science should have this book right here. Everyone should be like, Sheik, okay, I need that. Everyone should be sending me donations for I can build your library. But they don't. And that's why we lost. And every time I go on the college campus and I go to the library, they buy all my books. And I walk home with stacks. If I pull out what I make, everybody be thinking it's bragging. But I'm only selling books. I'm offering different people the same books for the same price. And I give everybody a tax and receipt. And then everybody say they study, they go right to Amazon. That's why I know y'all ain't studying and reading. I know this for a fact. Just like all these books. The history of the American Indian. I converted all these to ebooks. And listen to this. The rest of Adar's work, however, contains insight that can never be rediscovered or elaborated upon. The wars and gradual concept of the Native American tribes by white settlers left precious little of their culture available for scrutiny by subsequent generations of historians. But listen to this. Close to half of this book is dedicated to the notion that the Native American tribes are the descendants from the lost tribes of Israel. Now they try to discredit it, but they can't determine the original migration routes. It is through Adar's inserted these analysis in part to cater for the popular demand at that time. But we know they always trying to discredit the European scholars, but they ain't do that to Bertram Thomas. Bertram Thomas wrote a book called The Arab. I'm going to share that with y'all in a minute, but let me finish. From the mid-17th to the early 19th century, the notion that the Native Americans were directly descended from the Israelites of ancient times was a popular phenomenon. Many scholars postulate that the Book of Mormon was partly inspired by Adar's history because the Book of the Mormon was plagiarized from a book called View of the Hebrews. The Book of Mormon was plagiarized from a book called The View of the Hebrews. I don't care how no one feel. And so when I talk about Bertram Thomas, let me see, because I didn't grab his book, The Arab. I converted all these books to ebooks, but Bertram Thomas wrote a plethora of books. Let's see. Let me see. Man, stop calling me, man. I thought I blocked you. Let me see. Let me find the Arab. Okay. The Arab by Bertram Thomas. So this book on Amazon is $50. But I have them for you for a fraction of the price. You can get the book from an ebook and you can print it and bind it. Here it is right here, The Arab by Bertram Thomas, a European scholar that stayed with us. So when people be jumping on play, well, who are more, just not the other? Man, stop playing with me. I'm not doing that with nobody on here. I don't have time for that. You just playing because you don't like who you are. Y'all can get all these books from me for pennies. Bertram Thomas wrote a book called Arabia Felix. Bertram Thomas, I got all these books. Every book by European scholars that's going to agree with what I'm saying because they're historians, I have them. I have Vladimir Dale's, a Russian scholar. He got a whole dictionary telling you what the ancient Arab is. A-R-A-P, not A-R-A-B, the ancient Arab. This right here is one of the most, everyone needs this. A trustee on arrest and false imprisonment, you need to have this. You need to have this. And then you'll be letting all the caricatures go. But see, the reason why I'm not famous and I don't go viral because I'm not no scam artist. Because I ain't selling you no fake dream. Because I ain't selling you no fake paper. I'm a scholar and educator. And I only get plays in academia and with the different nationalities. Because law governs all events. I'm telling you what I know. And then I have the documents, what they teach at Harvard. Because see, this Bertram Thomas other document is called Life, Liberty, and Property. I teach this. They teach this at Harvard. They teach this at Oxford. They teach this at Cambridge. This is why I tell my brothers and sisters, y'all lost. Just like I told y'all that birthright citizenship that's gonna bite all y'all in the nose because y'all don't know clearly what that's about. Finna bite them on the nose. Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. Let's see how much this is on Amazon still. Let's just see how much this is on Amazon still. This is what I tell my people. We messed up. And every time I come home from doing these teachings and going on the college campus and the library with the other man, I sell out everything. And they order so many ebooks from me. My phone be blowing up. I don't send you to no fake underground bookstore. Man, let me answer this phone. Hold on. Hello? Hello? Man, sir, you've been calling me 13 times back to back. I ain't answer, man. What? Don't that mean something? You've been calling me back to back all freaking day, man. Don't do that, sir. That ain't how you get no business. What's wrong with you? This fool calling me all day. Excuse my candor, man. That is not how you do business. I had to tell this dude, you don't do business like that. With all respect, excuse me, man. I just had to go there, man. Cause people, I don't let nobody disrespect me. I don't care who you are. I don't give a damn. You're not coming at me no type of way. I'm gonna put you in check off the top. Why? Cause I don't play it. Just like you shouldn't play. Now here it is, Russian Icons. The book with all the plates. Now, I always tell y'all stories. My brother Bay been rocking with me for a minute. Brother Bay, on here, he just bought one of my pieces of jewelry that my Empress make. I told y'all, everything I make, I do custom and I ship it out. So here it is. I told y'all that a lady, she was like, oh, he trying to hustle people. She like, you can get Russian icons off Amazon for 125. She talked about this one. But I said, yeah, man, but it ain't the plates in it. It's just pages. I'm telling you, I'm a scholar. I do all the research. Everybody laughed at her. She got the book. She was like, damn, well, can I get the book that you got? Because the book I ordered for 125 don't have none of the stuff you have. Nope. Nope, you can't. Go on Amazon and buy the book that I have, Russian Icons by Vladimir Ivanov. Go on Amazon and buy it for almost $2. Because this is the book that I have. See, this is the book that I have. And you see what it costs on Amazon. You see what it costs on Amazon. Almost $2. It costs almost $2 on Amazon. It costs almost $2 on Amazon. And I got it as an ebook as well, and I print it and bind it. And you don't want this? And then you see people on YouTube and TikTok talk about some ancient black. These ain't no ancient black. These Russian icons. He was like, well, I don't have the book. So you Googling the book and you just searching pictures, but you don't have it. You can't touch it. You can't smell it because ain't nowhere in this book talk about they some ancient black. Black wasn't even used to describe ethnicity in first century. We talk about Russian icons. Vladimir Pushkin, icon. And it says 14 plates in color, 12 full-page illustrations. Iris Books, Oxford University Press. Oxford University Press. They have these books in Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, and they have these at most of their Gnostic libraries. These books that they have, they study us to a T. How do I know? Because I'm part of the Philosophical Research Society. I have information that most of our people don't have. I have a whole card game of the Illuminati card game that my professor gave me. This card game was made in the early 80s, and everything on that card game is happening today, right now. Right now. I got books called Burn Trump. Right now, the people talk about history. I said, no, this stuff was already recorded. You just don't know because you're not elite. It got all the plates in here. And so the book that the misnomer black lady bought for almost $200 from Amazon didn't have none of the plates in there. And everybody was laughing at her. And I said, no, you can't buy the book from me. I'm not selling you nothing. Point blank. Why? Because people don't want to support their own brother that's doing something, that's giving you everything. This is value. This is like an NFT. I'm not selling you stuff at the same price Amazon. I'm giving you things that you don't have the money to buy. And I'm showing you what this is all about. I mean, it's all in here. Russian icons. And I'm not going to go that far in that because I don't have to. This one right here. You see this book, Sacred Drift by Peter Lambert Wilson? Sacred Drift. Peter Lambert Wilson is a European. That's his pen name. Peter Lambert Wilson. Let's see how much this book costs still on Amazon. When I tell people, I'm not going to argue with no one that's on here playing semantics because they don't love themselves and go try to act like I don't have the right to do this. Man, I've done this in academia already. I already graduated with honors and scholarship. I'm already a lecturer. Man, I ain't arguing with nobody on social media. I'm not wasting my breath. Please, I'm just going to block you. That's a waste of my time. I'm not going to debate nobody on nothing. That's a waste of my time. Let's see how much Sacred Drift costs. So Sacred Drift by Peter Lambert Wilson is $67 on Amazon. $67. I got the book, I print it and bind it, and you can get the book as an ebook. So why brothers ain't getting it from me? And you can get these books from pennies of a dollar from me. Let me give you a little introduction because I quoted an intro of this in my one of my books because I quote a lot of stuff. You see in here they got our prophet Noble Drew Ali. But let me see. Let me give you a little intro. This intro I did in one of my books, and I sourced it the right way. I gave credit to the original thought. Let me tell y'all, Lost Found Moorish Timelines in the Wilderness of North America. Listen to this. The image, crumbling 1920s photograph. Now this is the 1920s of an American black man dressed in robe, sash, and fez, posing formally, hand on breast like Napoleon. But y'all got to know where they got this stuff from. So, pole like breast, hand on breast like Napoleon. But you see, our prophet hand is outside of his chest. His hand ain't inside. His hand is not inside of his jacket. But I told y'all, please follow me on my other platforms, because every time I teach, I'll probably get suspended for 3 more days. I ain't saying nothing biased. I ain't saying nothing prejudiced, but that's what TikTok do. If I was on here talking crazy or showing us in the worst way, oh, I'd be multi-platinum. I'll be on all these podcasts. But see, this is what they do, because they want us to be stuck in stupidity. And I'm not allowing it. I don't give a damn how many times TikTok banned me for 3 days. I ain't getting banned on YouTube. I ain't getting banned on social media. I ain't getting banned on no other platforms but TikTok. That should tell you something. Just like my professor said, and my professor is a European. He like, oh, you doing a solid, brother Sheep. That's why we rock with you. So let's proceed. Hand on breast like Napoleon, labeled Prophet Noble Drew Ali, 1886 to 1929. To recover the meaning of this obscure and enigmatic portrait, we must rediscover a lost or secret portion of our own history. For American history is defined for us as much by its absences and disappearances as by its official presences. Indeed, perhaps even more so. Listen clearly. The official sources describe Noble Drew Ali as the founder of the first black Islamic sect in America. In turn, he was less than this. Listen to this. For there were black Muslims here before him, because it was. You have Deuce Muhammad Ali. You have Abdul Hamid Solomon. Of course. But he was also more than this. He was an American prophet. He was an American prophet. He could have stepped from the pages of Melville or Ishmael Reed, a thought of Allah clothed in the flesh, a fact, a poetic fact. This what he's saying about our prophet, Peter Lambert Wilson. That's what he's saying about our prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And then I have other books by writers. Peter Moon used to lecture at GCU years ago, before the campus was all this money was dumped into it. He used to go on GCU campus and lecture about our prophet, Peter Moon. Peter Moon wrote a plethora of books. Montauk History, Transylvania Sunrise, But let me show y'all something. Let me see if I can pull it up. Here we go. Now, here go another book with our prophet. Look, you never ask yourself why our prophet Noble Drew Ali is on this cover with all these U.S. generals? You ain't never asked yourself? And then when you see the ratings of how people try to rate the books, especially people that want to keep you away from wisdom, they'll try to rate the book so low. Yeah, I know why. So let's break it down a little bit. The end of the World War II precipitated, more intrigue and struggle for power than the war itself. Two of the most colorful figures in this intrigue were General George S. Patton and Hitler's deputy Rudolf Hess. General Patton was killed as a result of a dubious accident, the mystery of which has never been solved and has been magnified by government refusal to declassify the file on the investigation of his death. Far more conspicuous and powerful was Rudolf Hess, Deputy Führer of Germany, who flew to England in 1941 as an envoy of peace and was imprisoned for life and suspiciously killed just before his imminent release. The current of intrigue and power which permeated these two individuals and led to their downfall was the same current which led to a representation of the U.S. government and the undermining of a constitutional government that is run by and for the people. Patton and Hess wore different uniforms, but they both shared common interests, destined to link them in the strangest of ways. These included a strong hatred of communists and, more importantly, a strong interest in and belief in the occult. What is little known and completely unsuspected, however, is that both had within their grasp a force so powerful that if properly harnessed, it might raise the ancient civilization of Atlantis itself. It was for this power that they both were killed And so begins our mystery. Excuse me, hold on, wait. Okay, yep. And so begins our mystery. Yep. Yep. And so begins our mystery. I'm not gonna go too far in it, you know, but I'm just telling y'all. The history is there. This right here, the unknown Arabs. People be upset. I don't have to send you to no underground bookstore and they charge you a whole bunch of money for books and then those individuals get kickbacks. I have all these books and I convert them to ebooks and this is how I print them. You should want all these ebooks in your database. I'm telling you, man. Let's see how much this book costs on Amazon because it didn't cost that much. But these books are packed with information. Let's see. Man, and it's still on Amazon without the proper book cover. On Amazon, it costs $40. This says, the unknown Arab cleared a definitive proof of the dark complexion. And then on here, they say the cover is coming soon. It's by Tariq Berry. But here you go right here. Why don't y'all Moors want these books? I'll give y'all the ebooks for pennies of the dollar. I'll give y'all bundles. My people lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. So we be arguing on social media. We be arguing on semantics, you know? Here go one of the professors. He said, I think this book is an important contribution to an often ignored and presumed body of knowledge. What Mr. Berry spoke, in fact, challenged the presumption that ancient Arabs carry the physiognomy and appearance of those that are displayed by modern media relations, visa modern racial stereotypes and historical misinformation. Mr. Berry references credible books in the Arabic language like Lisan al-Arab and credible books in history like Turakul, Wal Maluk. He combined with the modern sources referencing other research like Ivan van Sertima and Ali Mazrui. Those who want to criticize Mr. Berry's work and Mr. Berry himself need to do more than make blanket assertions that his work is fabricated and he is fraudulent. In the world of academics, blanket assertions with no proof merely exposes the asserter's lack of ability to bring sufficient proof and is not considered. This book collects a lot of information and puts it into one place while making it interesting and easy to understand. This book will change customary presumed information about the ancient Arab and connection to the continent of Africa. Right here, when I tell my people, no, we lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. I have the whole library for us. Criminalizing a Race Theory by Sharice L. McIntyre. And she have a lot of books, you know, that she read about. I have them all. Let's see how much this book costs on Amazon still. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, good. They got a used one, or they got a paperback one, because this mug used to be $500. They got a paperback one for $73. For $73. But why would you want to make Jeff Bezos continue to be rich? And I got the book right here, and I got the ebook, the whole books. I'll lecture the whole book, page for page, word for word. Here you go, right here. And Europeans have this, and that I don't get disrespected because I'm a scholar and I'm an educator. I have a full library. Now, I don't know if y'all ever seen this. If you ever watched any of Bobby Hemmett lectures, this be in the background. But before I do this one, I'm gonna share. It's another book, Spirit Molecule. I didn't pull that one out, but I'm gonna pull it up because it's not expensive. But it's packed with so much vital information. This book right here, the paperback is only $11, but I have it for you. This is also in Bobby Hemmett's background. I have Bobby Hemmett's whole library. I have his whole library. This book right here is powerful. I have them all for y'all. Y'all don't have to go to Amazon and buy it for $10. You can get the ebook from me for change. And then you can print it and bind it if you want to. But you can travel with all your books. You know? I have them all for you. I'll give you the cheap books as a gift when you buy other stuff. Let's see how much this one is on Amazon still. Whoa. This book still, whoa. This is a used book. It says used like new. $725. Now, I done showed y'all books already. It done came to stacks and stacks of dollars. And that's why our kids don't know what it is. That's why our kids going around arguing. That's why you see these misnomer black people with these stupid podcasts. And that's why the kids got a 3rd grade comprehension level, because we don't know who we are. That's why we don't understand the history of the birthright citizenship. They don't have nothing to do with us. I teach y'all this, but here we go again. We lost. This book is almost $1,000. It's $725 on Amazon. And I tell y'all, I lecture these at college and the other platforms, and I get paid swell, and I can't even get y'all to donate to get these books. Man, that's why they keeping it all from us, because we don't study. Everybody think the Willie Lynch letter is real. Ain't no such thing as no Willie Lynch letter. The Willie Lynch letter is fake, with all due respect. I love Farrakhan. Farrakhan knew what he was doing when he got up there and talked about some Willie Lynch. That's fake. I lecture this in academia. I lecture this. They made that stuff up. It ain't no such thing as no Willie Lynch letter. It'll be in the Library of Congress. So all them rappers that talk about some Willie Lynch, Talib Kweli, all that, you cap. I lecture this. Listen to this. Supposedly given in 1712, the Willie Lynch speech is widely believed to be authentic. Actually, as revealed in this piece of wisdom, and I did on college campus as a lecture, it is an amateurism or amateurist and malicious hoax. Unfortunately, many people taken in by this hoax have spread and campaigned and championed it. An extreme example of this championing occurred in 1995 at the Million Man March. You know, when Farrakhan did it, with all due respect. There, the Willie Lynch speech was dramatically repeated. Marchers and millions around the world who witnessed the march through television and radio were presented with the hoax as facts and history. In the death of the Willie Lynch speech, Professor Manu Amtham exposed the myth, and I did at GCU, of the Willie Lynch. Amtham does this by documenting the 20th century origin and fraudulent history of the Willie Lynch speech and speculating correctly about the author's identity, forcing the admitted hoaxer to confess. This volume contains the fake Willie Lynch speech, correspondence between Amtham and the admitted hoaxer, and the hoaxer's confession. I told y'all, but what we do, that's what misnomer people do, that slaves do. That's what they do. I'm not going to stay all into it, but it's right here. This piece of wisdom, this was my oral dissertation at Grand Canyon University. I got my dual master's degree in first century history and religion and Christian counseling. I did my oral dissertation and I proved that the misnomer black man is the father of civilization, proven by the Bible alone. You don't have to believe me. Let's deal with the scholars and educators. And you're not teaching your kids this? I don't care what you post on social media. I'll be telling y'all women, all y'all doing is on social media posting yourself. You selfish. I don't care if your son or your daughter wear a turban. You selfish. If you're not building a library with me, you selfish. It ain't about you no more. You selfish. If you ain't building your library and your kids can when so-called black history or civics and talk on some stuff, and then the teachers be like, wow, where you learn this stuff from? And then you can turn me on to them, and then they teachers going to research me, and they're going to be like, well, you doing a solid, we doing our kids wrong. Let me give you a little introduction. The Bible gives the first and only true account of the origin of mankind. It is the only book containing an accurate record of the progress of man towards civilization, and its indisputable reference of all searches after the real facts of birth of humanity and its progress toward the civilization of today, beginning with his creation. It is the only authentic record of man. Authentic because it's the first hand, not a copy of something else or a scientific or literary review, but a dispassionate record of man's creation and progress, untrimmed, unshaped, and unvarnished. To suit prejudice, it would not be a complete record if it did not show with the rest of them the origin of the misnomer black man. And woe for all these pinnacle thieves. It shows that he, the misnomer black man, is the father of civilization. And then they try to tell you color don't matter. Yes, it do. Because if color don't matter, they should have told you the truth. In the church, they teach you some fake curse of Ham. You weren't cursing no black skin. The curse of Ham was just your land would be took, and you wouldn't be recognized in your own land. So don't let these people tell you this. Now let me give you a little bit more. The misnomer black man has been misrepresented by prejudiced historians and lecturers. Remember, Carter G. Woodson said the miseducation of the black man is our preachers and teachers. It has been and is now quoted that Ham, the father of the black man, was cursed by his father Noah. Now, in regard to this incident, let us look and take the Bible for its record. And anyone not totally blind with prejudice will be convinced by reading in the book of Genesis, the 9th chapter, from the 20th to the 27th verse inclusive, that Noah did not, for he could not curse Ham, although he did in a fit of intoxication, which drunk people be do, pronounce a curse on a curse. Wait a minute, hold on. Pronounce a curse on Canaan, which was the son of Ham. But in passing, I gotta tell y'all that Canaan was never inconvenienced by no curse of Noah, because he was the father of 7 prosperous nations, right? Foremost among them were the Canaanites, Phoenicians, and Sidonians. The Sidonians sprang from Sidon, who was the first son of Canaan. It's in your Bible, Sidon, according to Genesis, the 10th chapter, the 15th verse. And these same Sidonians are the men descended from black men, whom Solomon ordered Hiram of Tyre. You know, for my Mason brothers, who they buried in a shallow grave. Come on, man. Engaged to do the skilled handwork, design the inner design of the timber work of the so-called Solomon's temple. You know, I'm not going to go sparring that, but I'm just setting a precedent. And then when I show y'all the Quran, when I tell y'all the Ku Klux Klan, they based their charter off the Quran. You don't know that, but I know that. Hitler's regiment was under the Quran. Mussolini murdered more misnomer black people than Hitler. Hell, Cecil Rhodes was even worse. When y'all talk about some Rhodes scholar, none of that stuff was for us. They was all wanting to assassinate the misnomer black man. You got to know that. The Quran. They put the KL to let you know it was the Klan, the clavering or the tavern, the local branch or the meeting place. Calaveries. Calaveries, you know, different from the practice of the reconstruction of the Klan. The reason why I know this, because I'm an elite. It's just, and I'm not going to argue with no one. I'm not even going to waste my time. Oh, I'm on good time. Okay. So, I'm gonna illuminate y'all something real fast. Because y'all saw what the Congress passed, that birthright citizenship, and I asked all misnomer black people, what do that mean? I asked everyone, what do that mean? They can't even tell you. I said, because my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge, because we refuse to learn. Nationality is the order of every day. I don't care what you think. You are more by birth. But the science, you have to be taught the science. So, I asked everybody, what is the birthright citizenship? And what do that really mean? I had somebody tell that they couldn't even answer it. And then Moors, they lead y'all into a burning house. Lead you to a burning house. But let me give you a little preface of it, and then I'm gonna break down some law, and then I'm out of here. I'm not even gonna stay too far in the law. Now remember, I offer everybody this for a small fraction because it's packed with information, and then I clear up the history. I offer y'all this for all y'all Moors, for y'all can study along with me. It's also a book called what's the name of that book? Let me see it. Let me pull it up. Before I even do this, let me pull it up for y'all. Because I lecture this too. This is very important. America in Black and White. Let me see. I'm going to show y'all something. Some facts. Yep, here we go. Right here. Let me see. America in Black and White. I can't, that might not be the name of it. But it's a book called The America in Black and White, where in the Battle of Bunker Hill, what they teach our kids, how they whitewash Peter Salmon and Oliver Cromwell out of the Battle of Bunker Hill. So that book they give y'all kids in school, 1775, 1776, they whitewashed them all out of the history books. And then I got the European professors that say, no, they were here. They whitewashed them out of the history books. I think it's called America in Black and White. I gotta find my book because I don't think I'm saying the right name on Amazon. But if anybody got the book from me, you will see what I'm saying. But anyway, let me get back to what I was doing. But that book is vital, vital important. So when we talk about these things, the birthright citizenship, I always ask my brothers and sisters, do you know what that is? Because we ain't no 14th Amendment. You might as well throw that away. Because if the 13th Amendment freed all misnomer Negro, blacks, and colored of bondage, what's the use of the 14th, 15th, 16th Amendment? What's the use of those manumissions? So let me just touch on this, and then I'm going to jump in a little of our history, and we out. If y'all like the teachers, man, go on my bio and give a donation. If you give a donation, a good donation, I'm going to send you books. If you've been seeing all the books that I showed y'all, I done showed y'all the books on Amazon. These books, it's probably over $5,000. Y'all can get these books from me, and then we can study them together, and your kids can have them. We're supposed to be teaching our kids early what we learn late. That's why you talk about the children supposed to be the future. How? And the parents don't know nothing. How? Only thing the parents are doing is teaching the kids tradition. What? Cut the turkey in half. We don't cut the turkey in half no more. That was tradition. We got convention. We got big conventional ovens. We got to get out of that. So let's deal with something. The birthright citizenship. Now, let me just break it down in layman terms. Birthright citizenship. Anybody that come over here, if you're a child born an American, you an American. Okay, but what about the parent? That mean a parent a slave? But history shows that you whatever your mother are. That's history. That's why the stuff didn't pass in courts. I'm telling y'all. That's why Obama wanted misnomer black people to have this. Why? Because that'll show you that you still a child of a slave. I'm telling you what I know. And they telling you about some civil rights instead of human rights. I'm not rocking with no civil rights. I rock with human rights because I'm a scholar and educator. But listen to this. Birthright citizenship is the principle that people born in the United States are Americans, full members of our society from the moment they are born. So if your mom here, I'm an American. I'm not from no Africa. I ain't saying people ain't from Africa. It's some, but we all ain't from Africa. Just like when I show y'all the Hebrew Hill, when I show y'all who was here in the Americas, when I show y'all what was happening in Jamestown, you know, it says that people born in the United States are Americans, full members of our society from the moment they are born. It reflects a simple and powerful idea. If you're born here, you belong here. In the United States, birthright citizenship is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. But remember, for my misnomer black people, if the 13th Amendment freed all misnomer black people from bondage, I don't care about what's going on with nobody else. That ain't my mission. I have compassion for everyone else, but I'm trying to help us. If the 13th Amendment freed all misnomer blacks, if we dealing with the Constitution with all 20 sections, then we not rocking with no 14th Amendment crap to the Constitution adopted in 1868 in the aftermath of the Civil War. I told y'all, because if you had a little, remember I told y'all, the forgotten cause of the Civil War. I told y'all I'm always fact check this with scholarship. I showed y'all how much this book cost, because the real cause of the Civil War was if you had a tittle of misnomer black blood in you, you was considered a Negro. Now, fact check me on that. All persons born, the amendment states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of that state wherein they reside. But remember, before Abraham Lincoln was the president, he was an attorney. When you research the Spencer and Dungy case, remember Abraham Lincoln defended the Moore in court. I tell y'all, we don't have to be arguing with no one. They know this. We have to come together. Even when I talk about the SF 181 form that's pertaining to ethnicity and people fill it out wrong, you're supposed to fill out white. Get the SF 181 form and then see what white mean. You and I are white. I keep telling y'all. Or it's other ones on there that's you, but not black or African American, because there ain't no such thing. I'm telling y'all, we filling out things wrong. We must fill out things the right way because we know, and our people are lost. And I'm so tired of our brothers and sisters that ain't graduated high school, that's flunkies, that just have podcasts and they having the man and the woman go against each other. We should be done with that caricature stuff. We should be done with us putting each other down. We should be done with that. That stuff is ignorant. That's not what we do. This constitutional guarantee was intentionally written to ensure equality under the law, regardless of race, ancestry, or parentage. It was intact to overturn the Supreme Court's infamous 1857 Dred Scott decision. Remember I told y'all the Dred Scott decision? What you mean? The Dred Scott decision was Negro, black, and colored, you would never have no freedoms. It was on jeopardy. The Dred Scott case. Oh, if you Negro, black, and colored, you don't have no freedoms. Never. Blacks that have no standing in law. Never. That was the Dred Scott decision, and it was never overthrown, y'all. You got to know this. Which had declared that black people born in the United States could never be citizens. I'm telling you how birthright citizenship works in the U.S. The United States recognizes two primary paths to citizenship at birth. Birthplace-based citizenship, just solely. The U.S. follows a principle known as just solely, or right of the soil, meaning that nearly everyone born on U.S. soil is a U.S. citizen. But you hear what the catch-22 in bold is? Nearly everyone, nearly, not everyone, nearly, regardless of their parents' immigrant status. But remember, black had no standing in law. The Supreme Court confirmed this interpretation over a century ago. In the United States versus Wong Kim, Ark, 1895, holding that children born in the U.S. to immigrant parents are citizens at birth. The only narrow exceptions are children born to foreign diplomats who are not considered subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Ancestry-based jus sanguinis. U.S. law allows children born abroad to U.S. citizens to acquire citizenship through their parents, provided certain legal requirements are met. Together, these rules create a clear, fair, and race-neutral standard for who is an American, one that does not depend on lineage, wealth, or skin color. I'm telling y'all, I'm not even going to go too far in that because I told y'all, my people lost due to a lack of knowledge, and we playing. I'm telling y'all, we playing. And I'm not going to condone that no more. If I'm in Arizona and a red state and I'm lecturing this and I try to bring this back to my people and share the stuff that I get paid swell and share these books with y'all for pennies for your kids can learn, for we can teach our kids something early that we learn late, we wasting our time. We wasting our time. Let me give y'all a little bit of this and I'm out. Our prophet issued a divine warning. Well, let me go back. Let me go before that. Our prophet Noble Drew Ali, the divine prophet to be born in America, was the first descendant of Africans to strip off the covers of feigned citizenship, strategically hidden in the United States Constitution, the 14th and the 15th Amendment. In one of his editorials, our prophet issued a divine warning for the nations, wherein he spoke of the pseudo-redemptive powers in the application of these amendments aimed toward his people and citizens. Our prophet said, and I continue to say, through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. The 14th and the 15th Amendment brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at that time without power, with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, in 1865, the free national, remember I just wrote down the birthright citizenship. Now remember 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced since 1774 declared all men equal and free, right? And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since the Constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and the 15th Amendment for the salvation of our people and citizens. You see how easy that was? But y'all get caught up with fighting somebody else's fight. Just like when they talk about the women's right, all that. We ain't have no problem with our women rights and working. That was a European and Albion and Trelodite thing because most of the European and Albion and Trelodite and Anglo-Saxon was Masons. So they looked at everybody perverse and they women. Not us. We got to let them have that. For educational purposes only. Contrary to the training and the gross miseducation received in public school by most American students, the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863 did not free a single misnomer Negro, black, or colored slave from the legally binding slave laws of 1779. United States Constitution, 3/5 clause. However, not the same can be said of the 13th Amendment of 1865. This, the first of three Reconstruction Amendments, did in fact abolish the institution of slavery, which opened the door which opened the doors of freedom to all misnomer African descent in North America. Make no mistake about it, that the 13th Amendment was the greatest and only document of manumission ever to be enacted by the Congress of the United States. This is a true fact. Although the 2 sections ratified were just watered down versions of the 20 sections originally proposed, just 1 section was needed to free all misnomer African descendants from their mental slavery and constitutional bondage in the United States. But then after that day in 1865, when the 2 section passed of the 13th original 20, yet it only took 1 of these to free all misnomer slaves from every U.S. nook and cranny. You see, from Capitol Hill, there rose such a clatter. Masons sprang from every lodge to restore order in the chaotic matter. Heavens to Betsy, we have owned them since the rising of our flag. Like the old pharaohs, we must reclaim our property before our economy sags. Plot on you Republicans and Democrats, both Northerners and Southerners, all for if slavery ain't recycled soon, we will lose our invitation to the European Conqueror's Ball. To remember that the United States has never been without its slaves is a vital ingredient to understand factual American history, but it's not often used by most historians. It must also be remembered for the only time in her history that the U.S. ratified 3 major bodies of law into the Constitution, which concerned her beloved parcels. These 3 Reconstruction Amendments were written in the exclusive interest of slaves, ex-slaves, and all other Negroes only. As I'm going to show later in this chapter when I look up the word Reconstruction, like Reconstruction Amendments, was used to identify the upgrading of slavery more so than downloading post-war American into a Reconstruction period. Both of these political movements took place at the conclusion of the Civil War, but it is the later which most people assume indicative of what was actually being reconstructed. Without the enslavement of the indigenous people of the West Africa, these laws would have never been ratified into existence. Oh yeah, let's deal with it. In order to understand why the 13th, 14th, and the 15th Amendments, particularly as pertaining to American slaves, ex-slaves, and as granted privileges, as opposed to rights, we need to focus briefly on what prompted their ratifications. This enlightenment is necessary because most U.S. citizens were fooled into believing that the USA actually surrendered her slaves with no strings attached. Alas, in the words of our Prophet Noble Drew Ali and myself, even a fish would not take the bait, knowing the hook was hidden there. Remember, America is totally unknowledgeable of being a slaveless government. Slavery, especially chattel slavery, when you look at machination of a Maya people, has always been a divine issue. The average time any nation has suffered slavery is about 400 years. That is the duration of physical bondage, family. This was no exception in the enslavement of West Coast Africans by the misnomer pale-skinned nations of Europe. From 1492 to 1865 was 373 years, and although U.S. slavery was only opposed by a few during Abe Lincoln's presidency, the historically versed knew the time was nigh for the emancipation. Abraham Lincoln, as a man, did not care whether the Africans were free or remained in slavery. In fact, the Emancipation Proclamation was such a perfect hoax of executive power, there are people today, hundreds of years later, that still believe it freed slaves. Lincoln, like most politicals and politicians, used his knowledge of history as a platform for his acquired office. The broader their historical base, the stronger their political race. Abraham Lincoln knew history and knew it well from the world's leading history book, the Bible, that we miseducated on, especially the book of Deuteronomy, the Leviticus Code, Leviticus 25 and 10. Read Leviticus 25 and 10. When you think the Liberty Bell, you don't understand that. And then esoterically, the Liberty Bell, when you turn the fence inside out, that's the Liberty Bell. You see your tassel with our mundane ball, that's the Liberty Bell. That's the Liberty Bell. The reason why it's cracked, because your freedom was took. Every European Mason know what I'm saying. That's why they sons of Muslims. At this time, It will do well to point out today's enslavement of Africans was strongly supported by three of the world's four major religions. The Buddhists, the Hindus, and the Confucians were the only religious order exempt from the modern enslaving of the ripe-skinned people of continental Africa. This is by no means suggests that the hands of India are innocent of an African slave trade, especially when their history has been stained by the world's foremost African slavers of all time, the misnomer Arabs. When you take a whole part of Africa and you call it the Middle East. How? Who are the cities of India? You know, Jews of all people and Muslims with support of the Christians, all with their holy books in hand, marked over 500 million Africans from 1092 to the present day. The public awareness of these religions with their participation in the African slave trade would begin to end during Lincoln's presidency. Mr. Lincoln said, and I quote eloquently with a silver tongue, "There must be an inferior and a superior. I, as much as any man, am in favor of the superior being assigned to the white race." Most Bible thumpers at that time were deeply convinced that they were doing God's will to enslave misnomer black people. The odd thing about this, is it was they who labeled all Africans black in the first place. This state of mind must not be forgotten, although it is often unimaginable and unthinkable to the misnomer NBC of today. But there are many people in high places today that feel just as strongly about subjugating Africans as there were about 400 years ago. What he say? He said, "Brother, thank you for this. I sent you a donation. Thank you. I'm almost done with doing social media." What he say? Don't. He said, "Don't get discouraged. The Creator got you." Well, gratitude for your kind words. When I tell y'all, I lectured at the library today. What no more is no one. I didn't even share a lie because I don't have to. All college students, all professors, all Masons. They sons of Muslims. They study us to a T. I'm Melchizedek in the real world. I keep telling my brothers and sisters. And I'm not here to argue with no one. Let's make us a citizen. Oh, I got a little bit more time. The U.S. of its subtitle referred to corporate United States of America, assumed by many persons to be a sovereign independent power. The constitutional concept and interpretation of a citizen did not derive its authoritative powers from the Declaration of Independence of the original 13 United States of America. In the course of human events, they discovered that a person was bound by the laws of nature and nature's God, that they held these truths to be self-evident. All men are created equal, and their Creator endows them with certain unalienable rights. Among these are what? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Remember I told y'all, Charles A. Wiseman, they teach this in Harvard. When I show y'all life, liberty, and happiness, I teach this to all college students, and I get paid swell, and I try to teach this and give y'all the documents for pennies. That's why we lost. That's why I'm almost done with social media, period. I'm about to be gone. I'm going to take this position, and I'll just be gone. I got my passport, and I'll be traveling abroad teaching this stuff, in Europe. They got a whole Morris library in Europe. This is why I be telling people, I said, I don't know what you think, but oh well, let's proceed. Where was I at? Among these are life, liberty. Among these are life, the right to live, liberty, the right to be free, and the pursuit of happiness, the right to be content, founded. The totality of these rights became the Bill of Rights. The U.S. Constitution was written by the people and for the people. These laws, established by freeborn and free men, were from living souls who are sovereigns from the wombs of their mothers. U.S. citizens, on the other hand, are belligerents in the field and are subject to its jurisdiction for educational purposes only. The jurisdiction is Washington, D.C. All U.S. citizens, all U.S. citizens are 14th Amendment persons, property. And when you deal with lawyers, person is chattel. Person, place, a thing. Watch this. You property. Implemented by the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which was originally established to disguise the newly freed slaves. The only problem was the European political powers of that day dug a shallow grave of fiend sensory for the ex-slaves, and they later fell into it themselves. Why? Because I just gave y'all the birthright citizenship. This is why, to this day, the American This is why to this day, the Americans actually knew what a U.S. citizen was according to their law. They really would not want to be one. What most people fail to realize is during the drafting of this great document, the European men aged 21 were the only people recognized in America. You know that, right? Women, other nationalities, and slaves were not considered as whole persons or people, at least not with rights that a pale-skinned man had to respect. It takes the number of persons to make a people, as was written in Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3. The word person was summarized into fifths, and 5/5 made one complete person. This person, as endowed by the Creator and the laws of nature, was declared the whole number and a free person. This endowment with the totality of fifths made a complete and perfect person, and subsequently a citizen. When the U.S. was first formed under its Constitution, its sovereignty was for and by the people, aka mankind. The word person was used by the people to describe their property, business, and fictional beings. Persons gave life to corporate American oath, affidavits, notaries, and self-incriminating pro se, used by straw men who jurisdiction and prisons. Masonic members of the Moorish Science Temple are moored by the words, I am a citizen, but don't understand it. Uniting souls through Allah. They don't understand it. They don't understand it. Yet for those who know the law, mainly our Prophet Noble Drew Ali himself, myself, there is a much difference between sovereigns and citizens. As the X, but as certain amendments, freeborns and bond servants, Moorish Americans and Negro church members, or unalienable rights and inalienable privileges. If the assumable citizens of the U.S. only knew the true legal definition of citizen, they would be ticked to the highest of ticktivity and would never want to be a citizen again. Watch this, my Moorish brothers and sisters. This is not hard. The true 5/5 components of a natural person: spirit, soul, body, nationality, and creed. Spirit, the indestructible God essence of man. Soul, actions of the mind powers, thinking, reasoning, willing, and understanding. Body, flesh, human vehicle made of the earth, often indigenous to the land of birth. Nationality, the descendant birth attachment through an especial nation or tribe. Free national name, lineage, identity, creed, religious path of God consciousness, established through what? Forefathers, vine and fig tree. You are who your foremothers are and your forefathers are, without a doubt, without contradiction. But y'all keep talking about we black, we African American. You'll never get nothing. We're going to be slaves for life. When people, we black, we African American, that's anti-Semitic to me. And I stand on it. So your nationality and your creed. Your nationality and your divine creed were the two main fifths extracted from the African nationals. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and many other European free Masonic slave owners who signed the Constitution of the United States also wrote in their chattel as 3/5 of a person. The Constitution thus became the first legal national deed of ownership of African slaves in a new nation. This act alone legalized racism and apartheid into the interior fabric of the new American culture. Further, it politically certified that all misnomer Negro, blacks, and colored as 3/5 of all other persons, and at the level of a beast. It's a European that wrote a book called The Negro is a Beast. I lecture that at GCU. You can hear a pin drop. I come from all perspectives. I'm a scholar and an educator and a historian. You're not going to come with me with no crap. Any man without national roots from which to draw strength and the great God for his guidance is no longer a complete man. For those who keep up with the total commercialization of corporate USA, as portrayed in The Wizard of Oz, you will easily see that the misnomer Negro, black, and colored as purely a fictional character, aka a fake citizen, painted in the scheme of an ex post facto government. Our Prophet Noble Drew Ali and myself appear, and we give the lost found the shoes necessary to rejoin the human family of nations. What we need, our nationality and our divine order. It is impossible for them to leave the land of make-believe without their shoes handed down by their ancient forefathers. Now all they have to do is apply their will, and climb the 3 steps of the thinking ladder. It's in our Moorish Quran with rounds of belief, faith, fruition. Read your Moorish Quran, chapter 7, verse 25 to 31. I know Moors don't study nothing. You following, so you think you finna get something. You think you finna file something. Only thing you're gonna get is go to jail. To attempt to remove in whole or in part one or more filth from any man is a conscious act known simultaneously as both a sin and a crime. Ironically, the United States judicial system marks this violation as a federal crime and is known throughout the U.S. courts as denationalization. Remember, I told y'all, no man, no woman has the right to nationalize you or denationalize you. It'll change you from the descendant nature of your foremothers and your forefathers. These people can't nationalize a Chinese, a Sudanese, a Vietnamese, but they say they can nationalize a misnomer black person. Man, something wrong with y'all. The irony in this crime is that it is committed manually by every state and every so-called fake Moor that talk about they can nationalize and they doing a status correction. Man, something wrong with you. Since the 14th Amendment became law and then written state seal upon the live birth of every freeborn Moorish baby in America, but denationalization is played off on their birth certificates as another misnomer NBC baby is born. That's why when I break down the Negro and the sardine, I break this history down. Beware of lying lawyers. Watch this. If you got a lawyer in your family or an attorney, I bet you he won't have a conversation with me because I did this in academia. I made all those misnomer black attorneys sit on their hands. I made all those misnomer black preachers that be teaching some Willie Lynch and some Roots, some Alex Haley, some Roots. And Roots was plagiarized by a European named Harold Colander in his book called The African. Fake, fake, fake. Beware of lying lawyers. Any lawyer worth his salt of the bar exam, which is the British Anatolian Registry, will lie to you, swear on his Bible, and declare that misnomer blacks are citizens of the USA because, here we go, this birthright citizenship, watch this, listen clearly. The term other persons of the U.S. Constitution refers to slaves. Okay, but the 13th Amendment abolished slavery, right? Oh yeah, of course. And or the Dred Scott decision was replaced. It was replaced by the 14th Amendment and or other amendments, specifically, eliminated the 3/5 formula. What these first servants of the courts will not tell their clients is that no constitutional laws have ever been handed down by Congress to teach back the later 2/5 necessary to make the free slaves into a whole person. You see? A person must be made consciously whole before he can become a citizen. How you going to be a citizen and you ain't made consciously whole? You ain't been restored back to your original state. Restoration, whatever you want to call it. Have the rights of a citizen and be subject to the jurisdiction of a citizen. Everyone, I do mean everyone, anywhere on the planet Earth, has all 5/5 and are whole except who? The misnomer NBC. Yep, the so-called misnomer blacks made in America and the Siddhas of India. You know, the SIDDIS of India. The 13th Amendment abolished physical slavery but left psychological, aka mental slavery, in full effect. This violates the 2/5, the right of mind, the soul, of the 5 gifts from the Creator. Speaking of one's right mind, it reminds me of how Christianized misnomer Negro blacks and colors will pray to a God, a misnomer pale God, and thank him for allowing them to wake up in the morning, clothed in their right mind. Little did they know, the mind they woke up with and the gods they were presently serving are not their inherently own. And that's just my observation. Because if color didn't matter, why didn't we just tell the truth from the beginning? With the ratification of the 13th Amendment, the enslavement of human bodies is now legally enforced upon criminals duly convicted as a punishment for crime. Yet the ex-slave still existing within the United States is held powerless and subject to jurisdiction. Their only crime was being of African descent, guilty. So the 13th Amendment merely closed the door of slavery in the South, which was without power at that time, and opened the jail gates of the U.S. government to protect itself against the rudderless ex-slaves. This is why most modern prisoners call jails plantations. President Lincoln also said, "My people do not want them, slaves, to become citizens. If I could unite my country without freeing the slave, I would do that." He was actually expressing a European national sentiment. no true red-blooded American wanted to free no slaves. Although the ratification of the original 13th Amendment with its full body of 20 sections did not reach fruition, it is still of the utmost importance for the historical adjudication before the 1864 U.S. Congress to be known to African descendants, especially because the enactment of these laws was all about the emancipation and freedom of their recent grand forefathers, and when the full Senate vote on passing the 13th Amendment was yes 38 and nay 7, the U.S. slave population was 98% illiterate, and not one of them was present to represent themselves as a people. Now, all these years later, their children of today, we can read. We know history. We know law. I'm one of the elite. They can now know what their grandparents could not have known. The following information can be found in the U.S. Library of Congress or the 1885 book called The Great Conspiracy. I got these books by John Logan. Let me see if I can find it in my file so I can show y'all. I'm telling y'all, man, it's a lot of stuff that we don't know. It's a lot of stuff that our people don't know because most people are not scholars. You following people on social media. I told y'all, with all due respect, I be on all y'all page. I don't have to say my empress's name, but I showed y'all the other day, didn't I, Abe? Didn't I show y'all, Abe, that a lot of these people on this page following that dude with that plate on the back with some UCC1 and UCC3, and it's people on my page that's follow that, and it's empresses on it. I ain't gonna say your name because I already said your name. And that's what y'all follow. And I'm like, something wrong with you. Something wrong with them, Brother Bay. They on my page following all this, and then they following these charlatans, these sovereign citizens, these people with a plate on the back of their car. What, you want that? The government finna subpoena all y'all. I keep telling y'all, you can't hide on social media. They in all the comments, and they following all y'all. They gonna subpoena all y'all, and then what you gonna say? What you gonna say then? Let me see if I can find the book real fast. I think I got it. Let me see. Yep, I think I got it right here. Let's see. I told y'all can get all this stuff from me. Let's see. I just wanted to take a pause. What my homie said, he said, man, check your inbox. We all gave you donations. Gratitude. But that's why my people lost. And I'm dealing with people that got children, call themselves Moors and all this stuff, and they don't have a full library. Oh yeah, I'm on your head. I'm on your head. Yep, Brother Bay. I'm on their head because I got a little time today. I'm on great time. That's why I be telling my empresses, I said, y'all in trouble. Y'all going to jail. Y'all think social media is something you can play on. And the same way I'm doing the work, the Fed's doing it. I kept telling y'all, but nope, you playing. So here it go right here. The Great Conspiracy by John Logan. I got all these books. I lecture this in college. That's what I be telling y'all. We lost. That's why I'll never get shut down. I can't get shut down on speaking truth, on precedented law. I deal with precedented law. I'm a historian. So I'm not worried about how no one feel. Watch this, Brother Bay, before I proceed. Because I'm going to always show this. And I ain't trying to embarrass nobody, but I told y'all, I know y'all playing. And that's why I tell y'all empresses, y'all playing. And you have to stand on everything that you be promulgating. Because when you on somebody's page and they don't know no difference, they think you promulgating the same thing that they promulgating. Let's see, do I still have? Bam, here you go, Brother Bay. Brother Bay. Now watch the people act like they try to act like they don't know what I'm talking about. And this empress is on my page right now. This who y'all follow. This who they follow, Brother Bay. Let me pull his name up. I'm gonna pull his name up first on TikTok first, because I did this already the other day. And I've been trying to warn y'all empresses, but y'all don't like to take it. Our 101s and our 102s, what's the prophet and the angel? What's a prophet and an angel? What's a prophet and an angel based off our 101s and our 102s, especially for my empresses? They're out here playing with these charlatans. Hold on, let me see. Watch this. I'm finna pull his website up. Watch this. Watch this, Brother Bay. Stop all that noise. Let me see if I can find this dude. Jay, because this is what y'all follow. I'm helping y'all. Yep. Grayson. I got way more too. And then people be upset. I said, you can't get upset with me, Brother Bay. This who y'all follow. Y'all on my page watching me every day, but this who y'all follow. This who y'all follow. Empresses, follow these people. Empresses, follow these people that follow me every day. And then here it is, you got this person with this.
Tell the truth.
This right here.
Bullshitting people. Like I said,
and y'all follow this. Look what he got on his plate. Traveler.
Just enough. Did you know that?
Traveler. Then when you put your car in drive, it's drive.
Things together.
But this what these people follow. I told y'all, I'ma always be transparent. Noble Musa Bey, a lot of other people follow it. And then a lot of people that follow me, they all follow this person. You know, a lot of y'all on here, look, Sale, Amari L, this person that be following me, Brother Bay, look, watch this. I don't care what nobody say. This person on my page right now, you see, I don't care what nobody say, you on my page. This is what these people right now, it says, something wrong with y'all, man. Something wrong with y'all. I love everyone. I love all my empresses. She on my page right now. I love everyone. I don't care how nobody feel. But why you following this stuff and I lecture and I go against this and these people going to jail? Why? That's why I said there's something wrong with us. You guilty by association. When the feds get you, they be like, oh, I ain't with that. They be like, yes, you are. All these people that be on my page, they right there. I'm like, why you on my page and y'all follow this criminal stuff? Why? You know I ain't with this. You know we know no real more. We don't teach this. And this person got all this stuff on their page, Brother Bay. This is what they got on their page. I said, that's what y'all want?
Like I said,
this is what y'all want, Brother Bay. That's what they want. I got more. It's so much I can show y'all. And I'll be like, man, they all going to jail. And that's why this movement, and that's why our movement is not going to go nowhere. Because you got people that's on here playing. And I say, you shouldn't be following something that you ain't with. What you following? So why you want to be on this page? It's two people on here right now. Soul, Amor L, and Goddess. No disrespect. Y'all follow this person. And I say, what you following them for? What are they teaching you that go along with what I'm teaching? I'll wait. That's why I be laughing at. That's why I be laughing at our people, Brother Bay. I say, there's something wrong. Yes, causing controversy. And these people on my page right now, Brother Bay. Just like when I saw the Empress on there, you know, that follow me. I love Empresses, you know, but I see she might have deleted herself off the page. And she knows she was following them because you on my page right now, Empress. I don't have to say your names, but this is what y'all do. I said, what's wrong with y'all? Like, that's crazy. To me, it's something wrong. But that's what y'all follow. But that's what they follow. Brother Bay, you see what I be saying? You know, and here I got the Constitution with all 20 sections, but I'm not finna read it. Let me go to the 14th Amendment. Our prophet warned Moors, and I warn Moors, is the needless powers of the 14th and the 15th Amendment. As I later explained, I also taught us Moors there was no need for the application of the 14th and the 15th Amendment for the salvation of my people. Why? Because I already explained in 1865 and 70 the amendments and have made the determination that the 14th and 15th Amendment is the sneakiest document of re-enslavement to have ever been written. The 14th Amendment alone is crippling and devastating until it later transformed every U.S. citizen from ignorant sugar cubes to corporate sheets, known as straw men, within the 60 years of ratification. The power of the South had been its slaves until losing the Civil War. 1863 military strategy of the Emancipation Proclamation and the 1870 Negro Voter Rights Amendment proved the Southern states were powerless without its slaves. Our prophet said, and I teach that the 14th and the 15th Amendment brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at that time without power. And since the Civil War was primarily fought between one brother in blue and the other in gray, the 14th Amendment was actually a legal settlement or an agreed order, which took slavery from the gray dispensation and spread it to every state throughout the United States of the Blue Republic. This was the only way both brothers could settle the long-standing grievance about the power of owning and sustaining slaves in the Americas. It must be remembered that the Founding Fathers and their prosperity were, and are, frantically serious about their slaves, so much so they fought their mother country and then each other just to keep their precious human chattel. The honorable president of the mighty Saxon nation, Chief Sitting Bull, 1834-1893, was not only Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong's Custer's worst daymare, Little Bighorn, 1876, but he also knew well the nature of the misnomer European Masons in position of power. The chief said that the cool words of the paleface spoken in darkness always melt in the sunlight of his axe. How true, how true. And nowhere is the Masonic esoteric language more vividly demonstrated than in the 14th Amendment, written expressly for the ex-slaves. The sexist and the indigenous people of America have and are experiencing the terrible whiplashing effect of many broken treaties. Rarely do many people of the United States realize the Congressional 13th Amendment was also a manumission treaty with the African descents of former slaves. This document not only freed the slaves, but also simultaneously created a second new nation of people. The Treaty of Freedom was broken within 3 years of its ratification by the covert and needless 14th Amendment. Also living in the same sunlight of European words, the so-called Negro, colored, black people being backlash from the 1868 14th Amendment still believe this congressional act made them citizens of the United States. It's really heartbreaking when most people discover that it is a divine, natural, and lawful impossibility to make a denationalized person property until a citizen of a free national government. A people are only free when they are true to themselves, pure, clean, and independent. I'm not even going to go more with it. I'll give y'all a little bit crash course here. The misnomer Negro, Black, and Colored began the naming of denationalized human property. Were never designed to have rights. As labeled property, the misnomer Negro, Black, and Colored can never have true rights because all rights are contingent upon universal, natural, and or civil laws. Before there can be rights, there must be laws from which rights derive their strength. And since the Negro does not have a constitution or laws of autonomy from which to govern itself, he or she cannot have lawful rights. This is why the great Dred Scott decision of 1857 stated, and I quote eloquently with a silver tongue, "The Negro has no rights that the true citizens are bound to respect." The divine and civil law was ratified in the 14th Amendment under the word person and sealed in its section 4, which stated in essence, and I quote eloquently, that the Negro, aka persons, whether free or slave, have no rights to compensation or reparations. So you talk about that reparations now, all that identifying as a Negro, Black, or color or African American, it's never gonna happen. You go get Ben Crump, and Ben Crump gonna lie to you, but I bet you he won't come on my page and sit, because he know I know. I'm with reparations just as any man. Still, this stately restitution is only reserved for constituted governments for atrocities imposed against another recognized nation, tribe and or family bearing the same free national name. By design, the misnomer Negro, Black, and Colored is neither of these. To avoid paying reparations to slaves and descendants of ex-slaves is the main reason for the Congress of the United States writing Section 4 into the de facto 14th Amendment, recycle being of misnomer Negro, Black, and Colored slaves, aka persons' identifications. This amendment is nothing short of a title of ownership and assumable jurisdiction of the free nation of people brought forth by Congress in the 13th Amendment. First of all, the misnomer Negro, Black, and Colored must be free as a people bearing one free national name. Then only then will they be able to claim rights which will draw its powers from their own constituted laws and principles. Until these laws are adhered to, the misnomer Negro, Black, and Colored will remain as chattel and without rights. They can only function under granted privileges, as demonstrated shamelessly with the 15th Amendment Voting Privilege Amendment. This has been the existence condition since the 3/5 clause of 1779. And today, graduate lawyers of the ABA exams would argue that the 3/5 clause and the Dred Scott decision were overruled by the 14th Amendment. Au contraire, beau frère. They will lose this case when explaining how the same slave labels of Negro, Black, and Colored that lawfully began in 1779 are still certified as state-owned property today, all these years later. You know, there is not a rightful law on earth that can make a citizen from a mold designed to produce the shapes of property. And African Americans, etc., and so on, begin another misnomer in the egg slot of slave labels are exclusively made in America. This is why privileges granted to property should never be misconstrued as being the same as true rights earned by citizens of a free national government. Even the 15th Amendment, the last of the Reconstruction Amendments, resorted the Great Right of Suffrage of 1870. This amendment gave guaranteed voting power to free male Negro slaves, but it was not because America so loved her slaves that it gave them the right to vote as all other citizens. Quite the contrary. Remember, after the assassination of President Lincoln, right, the South began pouring representatives, money, influential filibusters, lobbyists into Washington with intent to regain dominion in the South and reinstitute slavery. As a shrewd political maneuver, the Union staged the nation's first voter registration drive. In most Southern states, South Carolina, remember, and even in South Carolina, research the Wilmington white man's constitution. Where in Wilmington, South Carolina, they said they wasn't finna be having no misnomer Negroes as no political figures. They gave them Negroes a couple hours to get out of town. Then they started killing them. These is facts. The Union staged the nation's first voter registration. Alabama, Mississippi, the ex-slaves greatly outnumbered their former slaves. So the 15th Amendment was created to give them the power to vote, even though 98% of them could not read. The Negro weight of the political South was used against itself, and these Trojan votes restored sovereign powers to the United States, the Union states. In short, property was used to defend itself. Citizens of the U.S. were guaranteed the right to vote in the very first article of the Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, Clause 1. Therefore, the 15th Amendment was purely for the purpose of pacifying a segment of a civilian populace for a time. This is why the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment are all prompted by the government to quell some of the civil unrest. This form of government tactic is not new due to instability of the public, especially in a culturally diverse country like America. Granted privileges are necessary deterrent to civil revolts by the hoi polloi. In historical retrospect, Rome crucified Yahshua according to their laws, not because he was guilty, but because Caliphs of the Jewish Sanhedrin had threatened massive destruction to the city and Pilate's palace if their demands weren't made. And all these years later, in almost an identical scenario, Lincoln, an executive chief and commander of the military, had to do what was best to save America. And I'm gonna stop right there. I'm not gonna go on with too much more, but I can, you know. But I gave you a proper education on the 13th, the 14th, the 15th Amendment. The way have been paved to go behind the scene of these laws, which compiled in the infamous shallow grave of Haram Abiff that the Masons won't tell you. It's in your Bible, you know? And you got to understand that you can no more make a bond citizen out of a Negro, Black, and Colored, make a Muslim eat swine during pilgrimage of the Holy Mecca. Balance this lawful history with the United States official losing its sovereignty in 1871, returning to its original corporate status, and when it was just the British colonies. And your summation will be simple. All crimes committed since 1871 are commercial crimes and cannot be part of any legal proceeding. True constitutional governments do not have nor honor corporate courts because corporations are mere property themselves. Corporate courts cannot preside over natural persons judicially. A misnomer black hostage is a state of encompassment. It is the state of unnatural existence that employs so-called misnomer black people, which is seen by the masses, yet is largely unnoticed due to its obscure definition. In essence, the state of subsistence is the colorable, legalized enslavement of a nation of people, held definition. In essence, the state of substance is the colorable legalization of slaves, of misnomer black people here in the Americas. To reveal this phenomenon, it's necessary to dissect the word black, political, and the word hostage. You have to know this. Black is only a word, not a color, which according to science means death, void of light, absent of life. When you research the machination of a Maya people, political, the practice influences of a government, anything pertaining or relating to the policy of conduct of government to control its public policy, the exercising of governmental powers, hostage, listen clearly, any person, family, tribe, national, or person once free, now captured, usually kidnapped from alien origin, held against his or her will, with their freedom and or life or service to stand as ransom or security. I can go on and on, man, but I'm going to stop right there. I told y'all, our people on here playing the game. And y'all Moors that follow me, y'all know y'all playing the game if y'all follow these people I'm showing with these UCC 1 and UCC plates, Brother Bay, out here playing the game and y'all following my page after I done showed y'all a small stack of books that's thousands of dollars, that's stacks of dollars, and all the college students get. Your kids need this and you need this. You don't have to pay hundreds of dollars for this stuff. I have it. You need these. I'm telling you, man. Y'all need these books. And if you don't want to get them, family, all my friends and family, y'all at least should be supporting your brother. Supporting your brother with the wisdom books that I gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. I was only able to bring out a few. But these are the books that I gathered, compiled, and divinely prepared. History books. 14 famous Asiatic scientists in history. At least support your brother. If you don't want to pay for me to print it and bind it, I'll let you get all my books for a small price as an ebook. I'll let you get it. I gathered and compiled 11 books. I'll let you get all my ebooks for $10 a piece. If you just want the ebook, if I print it and bind it, it costs me to print and bind. And all my books is packed with so much information. Here, I put the manuscripts together to let you know what the fair is about. You know? Eurocentric and Negrocentric propaganda. I wrote the science. Interpretation of the divine creed of Moorish Islam. I even got coloring books that I showed y'all. That it show us in royalty. Not no little cartoon characters, but our kids in royalty with their headdresses on. I just got to print that again because I print and bind my books on demand. I sold 200 books today. Well, actually not today, in the last 4 days since I've been lecturing. None to my family and friends. I sold so many ebooks today, none to my family and friends. And I'm okay with it because I ain't get into this for my family and friends. Here go the book to show you how the BBT believe. And then I got to compile a plethora of more books. And then all these books I show y'all that cost a grip on Amazon that I converted to ebooks. And all my books ain't flying off the shelf and y'all ain't getting these from me. All this vital information books that cost grips. I even got Marcus Garvey letters that I showed y'all that cost $4,000 on Amazon just for some paper. And I got them. And the only reason why they cost $4,000 because they put them in a frame. I tell y'all all the stories when I told y'all the story about the lady didn't want to get Russian icons from me because she thought she can get it from Amazon for $170. And then when she got it, that's just a book with pages, no plates, so you can't get the book from me. And then another empress bought that Marcus Garvey letter I showed y'all. She was like, oh yeah, I got this letter off Amazon in a frame for almost $4,000. It was cheap. And everybody was like, well, we got the letter from Sheik for a small donation. And she like, well, I got played. Tried to get her money back from Amazon. Nope, you just paid for a frame, lady. I show y'all all this. It's nothing nobody Amazon can have that I don't have. Why? Because I'm a scholar and an educator. I have everything. And I converted everything to ebooks. So, once again, I just wanted to share that with y'all. I hope my brothers and sisters support what I'm doing. Everything that I show on social media, I have access to. All the regalia, all the jewelry, all the turbans, all the fezzes, all the bonnets, all the kufis. I sell them on my company page, morrishaberdasher.com. But if y'all been following me, just like my noble brother Bay have, Brother Bay just got him a nice piece from me. I'm getting ready to ship 3 more out. Watch this. Let me show y'all one of the pieces my brother just got from me as I close. As I close, see, my brother Bay, he just got this one from me. And thank you from the shout out. He said it was a beautiful piece. I told my Empress, thank you for making these pieces. Brother Bay got it. And what you say, Brother Bay, beautiful piece? Yep. I got mine on. I also got these as well. A lot of people, one dude was like, I walked past a European. He was like, wait a minute, brother. He was like, do you know what you got on your neck? He was like, didn't I see that on somebody's desk? Me and you, Brother Bay, we talking about this. I'm getting these in the bigger now. This is just made of fire, earth, air, river, but I'm getting them one. They're going to be a little bit bigger. Most people don't even know what this is. Most people don't even know what they're looking at. But that's their fault. And so I'm getting ready to ship another one off today, Brother Bay. Here they go right here. Like, they go to pieces right here. Beautiful detail. All the beautiful detail on there. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I even had one of my European colleagues, because he into the Egyptian science, he bought 3 of them. He bought 3 of them. He like, man, I love everything you do. That's why I be telling people, I don't get disrespected by Europeans, especially those that y'all think heavy. Why? Because most of them are only 32 and 33 degrees. I'm 99 degrees. I have my own charter. I have my own fraternal order. That's why I be telling my friends that I grew up with. Just because we grew up with, you don't know me. I've been in Arizona since damn near 2010. You don't know me. All the work that I put in over these years, most of my friends' stomachs just got big or got older. They ain't did no work, and I ain't dissing them, but I done put in work. I done put in work. It should be worth something. I ain't out here selling our people short. I'm from your own brother. A prophet and an angel come from your own people. I'm a prophet and an angel. And if I'm a prophet and an angel and Melchizedek to the other man, why I'm not to my own people? If I'm a historian and a teacher to the other man, why I'm not to my own people? If I'm a historian and a teacher to kids that don't look like me, why I'm not to my own people and you and your children? If I have a whole library and all these college people get these books from me, and I let these people get ebooks from me for pennies at a dollar, I don't get no sales from nothing on here. But I'm glad I have my platform up, because I got my college platform up right now. If I show y'all my college platform, if I turn this camera around, what the people saying about all of them, because my professor is on my TikTok and my YouTube page. A lot of people don't know because I don't tell people his name. They watch everything, and we be doing all this for data. And so when I come back again, when I do a lecture on the college campus, I'm going to show the difference from misnomer black people, Moors, so-called this and that and the other, and I'm going to show the difference from the average man and the college student and the people that know my name in Arizona, and I'm going to show you the difference. Our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. We rather go buy some Kool-Aid with some dango pineapples in it and get more diabetes and high blood pressure instead of learning who we are, instead of coming together and building. I show people how to buy land. I take my pennies and buy land, and our land is in our temple and school name. We own 10 acres in Kingsman, Arizona. We're ready to build our urban garden and our community center for our people. We own land in the city of Flint. I show people how to purchase land that's tax exempt for the federal government. This can be us, and it fall on deaf ears. I have a gift, and so I got to go teach people that want to be taught. I just helped a whole group of people get land out there with me and my Mufti Malik Reed El just purchased another acre of land. Prime real estate, where they going to end up making a whole community. We got our acre of land. Now I want to get another acre. Actually, I want to get a couple acres next to it because they're going to build that whole community and we're going to have our own. We're going to put our double wides on it. Ain't nobody doing nothing with their money but wasting it. Grown people wasting their money. I said, dude, y'all can support something that's real. I can give you a tax-exempt receipt and we can own something. We don't have no land. We don't have what garden you go to and grow your own fruit and vegetables. And we got 10 acres. We can have a major garden and we can have a co-op garden. I already started this stuff and we can do everything off donations. You know, I have a full library, man. My phone should be blowing up instead of other people getting on my nerves. No, they ain't losing nothing, brother. They not losing this, brother. Babe, this is what I be telling my people. How can all my people be following me and then I pull y'all up and y'all following that dude with a UC3 plate and you on my page? That's what these people be wanting. They don't want to learn. They don't want history because it'll burn their fingertips. They don't want to get this from me for a small donation and study it with me. And I can teach you stuff and you can learn and I can show you all historical stuff from Oxford and Cambridge and Harvard to correct you. And then I can show you these people real names that's going to jail. They've been COINTELPRO for almost 10 years. They just had to get other people caught up. This ain't no different than the streets. But I be telling my people, it just got advanced. How? Because it's on social media now. Now you committing what? Mail fraud. And you committing fraud on the internet by doing these things, by saying, by jurisdictions, everybody gonna get subpoenaed. Because the feds is on these people's pages and they on your page. How I know? If I tell you more what I know, some of these people on here start crying. Some of these people on here, I hope they come back and tell the truth how they got walked out their job. Especially the empresses that follow that stuff with them plates and you got children, you are playing a deadly game. You following me, a person that's honest, a person that's true, a person that's real, and then you on these people page with some plate, with some UCC and UCC1, brother babe. I'm talking about women. Not let alone the men that follow me, but the women. Something wrong with you. With all due respect. And that's why I talk boldly. Our people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because they refuse to learn. You playing. You are playing. And if I take your kid away, I bet you your kid don't know nothing what you think you know. Why? Because the conspiracy to destroy misnomer black boys and girls is still the same. I can take your kids, they'll say they're from Africa, they'll say they Negro, black, and colored, your kids, your grandchildren, everyone, and even you. How? Because I do this all day. And why the Europeans laughing at y'all? The Albion, the Trelodike, the scholars, they laughing at y'all. They like, y'all got y'all brother right here. The one that teach us is a scholar that's been teaching y'all the truth, that gathered and compiled over 15 books, that have a whole library. What else y'all need? I've been a divine minister, Brother Bay, in my city of Flint for 2 misnomer black churches. Taught the truth like this. I didn't leave the churches because I was treated wrong. I left the churches because I ain't down with nobody lying in no pulpit. I'm going to teach the truth, regardless if it fill a room up or clear it out. That's why I left the church. I had to get my own. And I got the blessing from all the elders. Ask my empress. I got blessing from all the elder women in the church. From a lot of the older people, it was like, no, Sheik, you got to get your own, Reverend Goodman. Why? Because you were educated and you a scholar and you have a gift. So I got enough of God-given ability to say, hey, well, you know what? I'll start on my own because I'm a builder. I don't have to piggyback off no one. I can start on my own and I can fact check everything because I went to academia and did it. And I graduated from a Christian university with honors. I don't care what nobody taught. I don't care what nobody get on social media and saying, because the average Negro dropped out of high school. And when I'm dealing with my European people, my Albion, my Trelodikes, or my Anglo-Saxon, you know to sit on your hands. Because I know you a Mason, and I know you a son of Muslim. You on here playing with me. So I'm not going to accept no less than wisdom and gratitude and righteousness. Why? Because this brotherhood trumps all the lower stuff. And it's time for us to rise up. It's time for everybody that's been following me to support. Here it is. I got 5.1K likes. I don't get no donation from no one. I ain't none of these Dr. Umars and none of these conscious community that want to get a damn Escalade or a Mexican Mexican Corvette and buy a whole bunch of fake gold and say, oh, I got this off the stock market, all this. Oh, I got, look at this, a kilo of gold. Man, I already got all that. I worked 3 jobs. Most of my friends were drug dealers and hustling while I was going to college, working little low-income jobs and building myself up. And now most of my friends are the same people, and they got a whole bunch of old stories. You remember when I used to have that Escalade? Yeah, I remember. You remember we used to have that diamond chain? Yeah, I remember. You ain't got none of that stuff no more. You can't teach nobody nothing no more. This is what I'm saying. I have a value and it's worth something. And then I'm coming back to I'm getting ready to be back in my city of Flint, July 22nd. I'm working with a whole nother group of people and they working with me to buy land. Here it is. I had a book. I got a book signing and sale July 25th at the public library. But now, shoot, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it at the public library. Why? Because I done sold so many books. I'm like, damn, I gotta print more books. My professor was like, man, why are you steady doing this? I said, because I love my people. He said, you're gonna do that book signing and that book sale and ain't none of your people show up. He said, why don't you go live when you do it? I said, you know what? You're right. He said, let me show you something. He said, look at your email and see how many of my students bought your books. He said, why do that? He said, everybody know how many books you got. They can be ordering your books right now on Amazon. How many of your friends and family got your books? How many? How many of your friends, your family would do other stupid stuff? I said, what? You right. I said, you right. If I can not even be in Flint yet, and here it is, I graduated from Clear University, and I done sold over 200 books, and I ain't even in Flint yet. And I done sold these to college people and professors. People that knew me online was like, man, can I get all of your books as ebooks? I said, yes. One of my friends said, well, forget that. I want all your books printed and binded. I said, well, it's going to cost you $45 because I got to pay for the binding. He said, I don't care. He said, I got on some shoes that cost $1,000, bro. You think I care? I'm like, wow. He said, real talk. He said, we spend our money on smoking and drinking and eat stuff that kill us and all that. And he said, you telling me I can't get your books and you gave me a taxes and receipt? And I gave him all my books for free and ebooks because he purchased my books. But then people that don't have the money to buy my books printed and binded, when I print and bind my books, I say, well, if you don't have the funds to buy my books printed and bind it, I got all my books as ebooks. Every book that I have, you can get as an ebook for a small donation. You can download it on your tablet and on your phone. So why you not dealing with me? Why my brothers and sisters not dealing with me? Because I heard a brother say, oh, because she gonna get rich. You should want me to get rich. You should want me to get rich. You should want me to be able to give y'all taxes and receipts when you give donations and all that. Why? So you can give it to Uncle Sam and it can offset what you owe Uncle Sam and we can build our infrastructure, our temple, our library, our community center. And I can do this from state to state. And I can then I can start coming to your state lecturing things instead of going to the universities with all the Europeans and the college students that y'all not gonna never hear because most of my people are not going to academia. So you will never hear a lot of my lectures. You can go on my YouTube channel. I got a lot of my lectures I did at the college campus on there. I traveled to the Philosophical Research Society in LA and lecture. And this is what I be telling my people, man. I don't have time to be playing around. I need my people help to spread this mission. I need my people to do business with me. I need my people to patronize with me. If you're more, you should have already bought a fez from me. I'll give you a free turban with your fez when you purchase it. When you purchase a fez from me, I'm gonna give you my book that I gathered and compiled to at least give you a little clarity of what that fez is all about. To at least give you a little clarity so you can start asking some questions. And this is why I say my people that are lost due to a lack of knowledge. And we don't want to spend our money or donate none of our money to a good cause. We want to follow somebody with some UCC or some UCC1 on the plate. That's what y'all want to follow instead of supporting a brother that wrote plenty of books, that have a whole library, that can help your kid graduate from college historically and learn about themselves. That's why I said my people are lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refuse to learn. And I need all y'all help. All my info is in my bio, how to donate. And if you donate, all you got to do is send me an email and I'm going to give you gifts. Why we can't do that? Like I said, because everybody else, y'all supporting them because evidently you supporting a person's lifestyle as groupies. Y'all know a certain individual wasn't going to never open up no school. Y'all know that misnomer Black Wall Street is fake. Y'all knew that dude with them tattoos all on his face, that was cap. Y'all knew all that stuff is cap. Y'all knew the Carson dude didn't graduate from Harvard because I know the real Billy Carson. Y'all know that Michael Novak couldn't nationalize you, brother Pillay. Y'all know that stuff. Y'all know the dude right now on social media, the big dude that just big with the hair all over his head, riding around in that Bentley that you can rent from Vegas. When I go to Vegas, I'm going to rent it. Talk about, you could just be like you could just say you an Amish, you could just say you a minister. Why you want to lie? And then when you get subpoenaed, you're going to have to stand on everything you lied on. Why? Why you want to allow that to get some damn gold Versace glasses? This is what these people do. It's all about designer and clothes. That ain't no more science. That's change. If you want some cheap Versace plastic glasses, go buy them. They're only $200. That's like, why would you want to do that with some cheap stuff? I told you to get you caught up, because this is groupie stuff. And that's what all these poor people did. I said, most of these people so poor, all they have is fiat. Why? Because they teaching you how to be paper terrorists. Come on, man. And I'm right here. I have a value. I have a library. I have everything we need. You can donate to our organization. I can give you a tax and receipt. And that money that's donated to me, I'm going to build our infrastructure. I'm going to buy homes. And that's the great migration, when everybody started moving around our temple and we have our religious community, which is private, the same way everyone else is, lawfully. It's a lady, matter of fact, before I close, y'all, it's a lady I want y'all to research. And she's in, Highland Park. She's in Highland Park, Michigan. Her name is Mama Sue, and she's running for mayor. But this lady done some amazing things, and I admire her for her work. You know what she done, which is amazing. Let me see, can I show y'all? I just want to pull up her, let me see. Did I find? Let me see if I can find her. It's Mama Sue. And I'm gonna share her webpage with y'all if I can find it. As I close. Oh, let me see. Can I find her? Boom, here she go. Okay, well, she's running for mayor in Highland Park. But when you look her up, let me see. I'm trying to find her other webpage. Mama Sue, let me see. She owned a whole block, turned it to a community, whole block and everything. And in my neighborhood, our whole neighborhood is for sale. When you go to Patterson and turn down Proctor, the whole block is abandoned. And don't y'all know, with the money y'all giving Uncle Sam, thinking y'all getting the taxes and receipt, y'all can donate it to our movement and we can buy the whole block and we can have a private community? I keep telling my family, you're not getting no tax return. I don't care how nobody feel about it. I keep telling y'all, my family, friends, loved ones, we keep giving our money to Uncle Sam, or getting a tax return instead of donating to us. Because the whole thing is to give Uncle Sam less money and support your religious and charitable contribution of your choice and build infrastructure, because we taxes in for the federal government, religious, charitable, scientific, educational wise. All we have to do is donate. I'm a private banking system, and I can give you a tax and receipt. Hell, you can file exempt if you donate to our organization, and I give you a tax and receipt. It's that simple. That's what the Sopranos about. That's what all my Jewish colleagues do. That's how they build infrastructure, because we taxes in for the federal government. The money that you think you get in a taxes and receipt, you can donate and build our infrastructure, and we be stakeholders. But once again, man, I love y'all. Thank y'all for taking time out y'all day. Once again, like I said, I got another client. Thank you for ordering your piece. I got about, I don't know if I got 10 left. I might have 8. My vendor, she probably with my Empress, she be making the chains, because she got to order the chains and then she connect them all. So I'm always transparent. I have vendors. I work with people. I have a company page, MorrisHaberdasher.com, where we sell all Moorish American regalia and much, much more. T-shirts and everything. I got all type of workout apparel in memory of my baby brother, Akil Jelani Goodman Bey, that was murdered by a Negro black and color in Flint, Michigan. I got polo style shirts with my brother logo, A. Jelani, compression style, hats and everything. So I have another company page called mypdfbooks.com, that's books with the Z, where you can download expensive and rare books. I got another company called bindingbooks.com, where we print and bind them. One of my muftis, he got a company called ALO Design Pros, where he do all web design. My other mufti, Gregory Masso L, he's the owner of Mayasan Tees. He ships beautiful tees all over the world. You know? We do everything in-house. We train every day. So I'm just waiting for my family and friends to support. I'm waiting for my family and friends to at least purchase my ebooks, to at least purchase books that you like from me, to at least inbox me and say, hey, Sheik, you got this, you got this. At least donate each month for I can be your personal person that send you your books and everything that I lecture on. If you give donations, I'm going to send you ebooks. And if you are more, you giving donations, you're going to get regalia. But at least if you are more, you should buy a fez from me, a turban and a she-mag and your tunic, and if you don't know how to wrap your turban the right way, all you have to do is hit me up and I teach turban wrapping classes just for a small donation. I have everything for our community and I need my people help. Because we will get our first brick and mortar in my city of Flint, because the city of Flint is for sale. And if people donate, like I said, give me 300 family and friends that donate $100 a month, that's $360,000 a year, which is pennies to some of these mega churches. But I'm going to use that to build our infrastructure. I'm going to go make a cash deal on one of these churches that's sitting, turn into our community center, our library, our after school activities, and it's over. And everybody will be a stakeholder. And it's over. I promise y'all. And then everything that I do, I'll be able to bring it to our temple and school, and all y'all can support it, and we'll all be stakeholders. And then we can start buying property in our neighborhood, fixing it up, and have our religious community. And we already got 10 acres in Kingsman, Arizona, so we're ready to build our urban garden. Everything can be done with donations, family. Everything can be done with donations, and I'm transparent. I'm a real person. I'll fly to your city. I'll fly to everybody's city that follow me. I come to your area and I do a lecture, I do a teaching. And if say right now, because I do lectures at the college campus. And so one year I did a lecture at a Peoria Community College and the professor donated $5,000. The students donated, they raised money. And I'm like, damn, $5,000. He like, you ain't used to this? I said, no. So I said, at least let me give y'all books. So the same thing I'm showing y'all now, all the college students on Amazon, they're like, this book costs $1,000, this book costs this. They were like, sheep, the books that you gave us for our donations, it oversee what we gave. I said, it's okay, because I'm the source. I sell this stuff over and over again. Why? Because I'm the source. Because I have everything as ebooks, and I can print and bind everything over and over and over. And I have turbans and fezzes and kufis and bonnets and all this stuff. And I just hope people do business with me. I hope people do business with me. I'm casting my net out. Please, my family and friends, do business with me. Check out my companies. Check out our temple and school website, bbtsciencetemple.com. But at least support your brother. At least send a small donation. I'll send you some pieces of literature. You see how much those books are so converted. Y'all definitely need this, because the European that's under masonry, he'll tell you all it is the Osiris mysteries, which I've been teaching y'all. I promise you. And I give you everything to help us to operate as love, because we don't love each other. We can't love each other. If you are more and you follow me, and then you follow them criminal sovereign citizens, which is an oxymoron with them plates, and you've been following me for years, especially empresses, I'm going to continue to be on your head, because something is wrong. You've been following me for too long, and then I go on these charlatan pages, Brother Bay, and I can find everybody that follow me on these charlatan pages. And then when the feds be in your inbox and they subpoena you, what you going to say? The same thing happened to Big U. The same thing happened with Big U. I keep telling y'all, but y'all grown people on here playing. I told y'all, the mandate already been out. I'm an official. I told y'all, I do not play. I'm going to show y'all again. The domestic terrorist list already came out for 2026, foreign and abroad. I used to share it every year. I used to get it. I'm not sharing nothing no more with no one, because I don't have to. I got the new domestic terrorist list, foreign and abroad, and all them cronies on there. All of the Rise of the Moors, RV Bay Publishing, all them people that you see on TikTok and all this saying that, they all on there. Why they work them little cheap jobs, why they living with women, going to work every day, talking about the Moors don't pay this, pay this. Man, you cut hair. Your wife got a job, you paying taxes, you lying. You ain't a part of no religious organization like me that's tax exempt, so you lying. Them plates with that on there, no, I would never ride with like that. When I get my passenger van again, when I travel my youth and my seniors, my plate is going to say not for hire. I'm going to have insurance. I'm going to register everything. Why? Because I'm responsible for you and your children and whoever else that ride with me. I'm not playing that. I'm not playing that. And that's the problem with y'all. Y'all playing. And so when you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. And your stupid prize is going to go to jail. And you're going to get a court-appointed attorney. And you're going to snitch on yourself. And you're going to plead to a lesser charge. And you're going to get everybody in trouble around you. That's why I've been telling my women, my empresses, why don't y'all get on here and tell the truth? Because I know women that got their kids took by the caseworkers. When their kid go back to school, we don't have electricity. We got a generator. That's illegal if the power ain't cut off to have a generator just running in your neighborhood. Sorry. And you talk all that stuff, and you ain't had no midwife to have your kid. You don't have your and claim a child. You had your baby at a hospital, dude. Don't you know you under their jurisdiction? You playing? Why? Clearly you playing. Clearly you playing. You under their jurisdiction. I'm telling you, if you went to the hospital, you under the jurisdiction. If you operate as a Negro, black, and color, you filling out everything, your lack of knowledge got you caught up. And I'm going to keep telling y'all, you play on social media, you in trouble. Why? Because the feds have a thing called the Internet Task Force. I know them out here in Arizona. I be laughing. I told y'all, these more that y'all be following, I wish I could find this dude book. It was Power Now. It was Power Somenomics, Squirrel Head, with all that copy and paste stuff, and he got locked up out here in Arizona. All that old USAR stuff, and then them people on social media begging for help. Are y'all out of y'all mind? And that's why I said as I close, I do not like seeing us in the worst, because that BMF, that show with the Big Meats them, and they had that episode with the Moors, and they had them Negroes with feathers on like they some drug dealers, and they overthrowing a person's house, and then I jump on everybody inbox when that episode came out. Yeah, you see how they did? They took over the house. I said, that ain't how that works. You going to jail. Ain't no such thing as no gangster Moors. Ain't no such thing as no gangster Muslims. Ain't no such thing as no drug dealing Moors. That's crazy. And they showed that episode on, what was that? I think it's called Big Meats. They showed that episode, got the Moors looking like some street people and some thugs and some killers. That ain't it. That ain't it. And that's what we do. And that's a multi-million-dollar industry to show us looking like some fools. I love y'all, man. Please support your brother. All my info is in my inbox. If any books that y'all seen that y'all want, all you gotta do is hit me up. Send a donation. I'll give you stuff. I'll give you bundles. I love y'all, man. I'm gonna continue to teach, but my time is limited. Why? Because I'm being pulled. I'm being pulled, y'all. And I'm not gonna continue, and I'm not gonna keep, how can I say, not teaching and not going places and accepting my due hire, because it's nobody that look like me there. It's all the other people. It's all European Jews. That's what you want to call them. Anglo-Saxon, Trinidad, whatever you want to call them. Anglo-Saxon, they there. When I go to the library, Peoria Library, when I go on campus, it's no Moors there. And then before this, I used to travel all the way to Vegas and be at the not the Thumb Correctional Facility, but at the Doubletree Hotel. I used to go to the Doubletree Hotel in Vegas almost every other month and host lectures. That's how I met one of my homeboys that I met. He was coming out of prison, pulled up on me. I was live. He was like, Sheik, we used to follow you in prison. The brother did 12 years in a joint. The brother did 12 years in prison. He was like, no, you real. He like the CEOs, they let us watch you. And so I tell y'all, man, I have a gift. Thank y'all. Support your brother. All my info is in my bio. Anything you need, hit me up, send an email. Help me make this go viral. I can't be having 6.3 hearts and likes, and I don't have nobody supporting. I don't have nobody donate nothing. When I have Sunday school in the DAP class, I can't get nobody to donate. But then you go to church with Reverend Porkchop and you donate your money, and you don't even get a taxes and receipt. At least I'll give you a taxes and receipt and literature and gifts at the least. And then you'll see the money that I make. Let me make some millions and see what I do to it, with it. Infrastructure. Everything that I say I'm going to do it. Because I'm not trying to prove nobody wrong. I'm proving myself right. I love y'all, man. And I'm out. Peace.